Thank you all for joining today for this mindfulness break in the middle of the lunch hour. As Jason mentioned, I'm Vivian Hermes, and if you're new to the practice, you don't have to have any prior experience. I guide you through the whole practice period. There will be moments of silence, and that is just to give your mind an opportunity to take in the prompt I just offered, as well as to chew on it a little bit and see how your experience is with it, knowing that the practice of mindfulness is not about stilling the mind. I want to be clear on that. You might have spurts, and they might be a second long of stillness, and you might have none. But the practice of mindfulness is continually bringing back your mind to what your chosen anchor is. And for today, we're going to keep it very basic. I try and change it up every week. So this week, we're going to keep it very basic and work with the breath. And if for whatever reason your breath doesn't feel comfortable or accessible to you, sometimes when we have a stuffy nose or allergies or are experiencing anything like that, it's not accessible. So we will work with anchoring into our visual field. And if that's not accessible for whatever reason, you don't feel comfortable, kind of just keeping your eyes open and noting in that way, we will sense into our physical sensations. But the practice for whatever you end up anchoring into is about always bringing your focus back to the thing you've chosen. So that is the basic instruction. And with that, I invite you to stretch out or stretch up, whatever feels comfortable, and then just letting your body sink. And from here, we will take a couple of deep but comfortable breaths in, and then sigh out the exhale completely, doing that a couple of times at your own pace. And this is the only opportunity we're going to have to sigh so that we don't distract each other. And once you feel that you've really kind of anchored in, you're here physically, you're ready to start, I invite you to just let the breath go to its natural rhythm. And on the in-breath, you can gently use the label of in. And on the out-breath, you can use the label of out. Another way to practice with this would be to only note the ins, the in-breath with the label in, or only noting the out-breath on the exhale with the label out. And we use these labels in a matter-of-fact, gentle tone. You can say them softly to yourself out loud, whisper them, or just recall them in your mind. In, out. So if this is working for you, continue doing it that way. I'm going to be offering now some instructions on how to anchor in to the visual field. So please, if in and out labeling is working, let my voice fall into the background. But if you'd like to experiment with anchoring in visually, just invite you to gently open your eyes if they're closed and take note of one focal point. Don't concentrate too hard on it. Just maintain a soft gaze on it. And you can use the label if it's helpful of see. Again, really neutral, matter of fact, softly, both as an acknowledgement that you are looking, you're seeing something, as well as a reminder for your mind to come back and continue to see. And you would use that anchor maybe every 5 to 10 seconds. See. So whether you're labeling and anchoring into your breath and using the labels in and out, or anchoring into your visual field and assisting with that with a label of see, the mind's going to wander. It's going to want to do something more complex. You can acknowledge that for the mind who likes to chew on complex problems, focusing on things that it does rotely, automatically, can be very uninteresting. And so that's why we pick something simple to really test, where does the mind go? Am I able to bring it back? You can also anchor into the physical sensations of the body. And if you want to explore that one, check in to see what part of the body feels particularly neutral today. So it might be the soles of the feet, the toes, might be the hands. Just notice, is there any particular area in the body that feels relatively pleasant to neutral? Again, without really bearing down, just offering your attention to that area in the body. And if you want to use a label, you can use the label of feel every so often, both as a reminder to come back and as an acknowledgement that that's where you're anchoring your attention into that felt sensation in that part of the body. And you can focus on the breath. Use the labels of in and out. You can feel and give focus and attention to another area in the body and use the label feel. Or you can focus on your visual field, taking in the beautiful image coming through with a soft gaze. You can use the label of see. I'm going to allow for some silence so that you can explore any one of them, all three of them, always guiding the mind back in a gentle way, in a friendly way, knowing that the practice is one of the mind wandering and you actually bringing it back. So noticing now, where is your mind? Is it sticking with that anchor that you picked? Or has it wandered away? If it's stuck through, continuing with the practice, labeling the in-breath as in or the out-breath as out, labeling what you see as see, noting your body sensation that's neutral as feel. And if you feel particularly grounded in whatever anchor you've been working with, you can loosen up around the use of the label. And as you experiment with that, see if your concentration continues to stay at the same level or does it wane? Does it sharpen even more since you're not using a label and you're just staying with the physical sensation or visual focus point? Sometimes when we practice in this way, the body notices that it's relaxed, and oftentimes that moment when we're most relaxed is when we actually fall asleep. So, no worries if all of a sudden you find yourself sleepy. Here, too, the mind is saying, oh, I know what we do with this. When we're this relaxed, we doze off. So, maybe taking a deep breath in to bring in some additional oxygen to enliven the brain, and then bringing it back to its natural rhythm and continuing with the practice. So, sleepiness is not a problem. It's actually one of the most common obstacles that we meet as we do this practice. And if it actually feels good to take a nap, if you feel, oh, this is actually a perfect setting for a nap, take this time, let the mind go. One of the things that we learn through mindfulness is this discernment of what do we need in any given moment, and can we skillfully offer it to ourselves in that moment. So this time here is for you to choose what's most nourishing for you in this moment, knowing that it's going to be recorded. You can't miss anything because you can always revisit the recording. Allowing the body to rest and the mind to rest. For just this moment, there's nowhere else to go, nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. This beautiful opportunity to be with yourself. Stretch some skills. If you can follow just one breath in mindfully, staying present for it, or one out breath, you can recognize that that's a huge accomplishment in itself. The body's been breathing all day in the background on autopilot. So bringing that awareness in just for that brief moment is a huge accomplishment. Breathing in, I know this is my in breath. Breathing out, I know this is my out breath. In, out. Looking out, I see the sky. Sensing that neutral anchor, I feel that area of my body. Now I invite you to take a moment and note something that you're grateful for. Doesn't have to be anything too grand. Could be as simple as I'm grateful for these beautiful chairs that support me in all the right ways. I'm grateful for being at GCC. I'm grateful for my friends, for my family, and my loved ones. For the delicious lunch or drink that I just had. Anything that, whether big or small, that carries a bit of meaning for you in this moment that you can savor. You can also offer a bit of gratitude for yourself and your willingness to explore this murky terrain of the mind, taking the time to help train it just a little bit in these sessions. Hopefully, the benefits of it you can feel over the course of the day, over the course of the week. Hopefully, it touches all those who come into contact with you, and that you're maybe a little calmer, a little happier, a little kinder, a little more compassionate, or more generous with your thoughts, words, and deeds. So, offering some gratitude to yourself that you gave yourself this gift, and the benefits of which are also going to be gifted to those who you come into contact with. Now, in the same way that we began, whenever you're ready, taking a deep breath in and exhaling all the way out. Taking another deep breath in and exhaling all the way out. Becoming aware of your body and the space and the room that you're in. Allowing yourself to orient yourself by gently opening your eyes if they were closed. Taking a stretch to the extent that feels available and comfortable. Checking into how you feel in your mind, in your body, within your emotions. I want to thank you all for joining the session today. I hope it was beneficial, and I look forward to being with you next week. Take good care, all.
Thank you very much, Vivian.